you guys video yet. I apologize if I missed a bunch of the chat while Reynor was on. That was kind of covering my chat, but I'm sure that you guys enjoyed listening to Reynor a little bit. We are ready. Pig is apparently going to veto Babylon, and then Ben will have one veto as well. And then we're gonna figure out our map order, and then we're gonna kick things off. I'm so excited for this one, man. I think it's gonna be so much fun. You gotta veto one as well. Pig says, let me see what Clem and Calazur gave me. Apparently Ben has reached out to Clem and Calazur for a little bit of help. I actually don't even know what race Pig is going to play yet. Pig did tell me on Discord. He said, is it okay if I play a mix between Protoss and Zerg? I said, yeah, of course, you can pick whatever you want. You can play Terran, Protoss, Zerg, random, whatever tickles your fancy. But I guess Piggy wants to avoid the TVTs, which I personally wouldn't mind, but I don't care what races these two guys play. I have legitimately never seen this match. And obviously two guys that I've been very close with for an ultra long time. They've been close to one another. They've bantered a lot at previous events. It seems that Ben is going to kick things off on Royal Blood. He vetoed Altitude and he wants to play Royal Blood. So I guess I can host for them, or maybe Pig can host. Piggy, you host? There will obviously be some ping, but that's just the way it always is when somebody's playing from Australia. That's inevitable, guys. It's just kind of the way that the world works. I could not fly them over to my house in Zuidland to have the BASILISK Big Brain Bouts offline, but maybe one day, who knows? Roaches. Maybe. Maybe we'll get a couple. Pig says map 2 Ancient Cisteran. So map 1 Royal Blood, map 2 Ancient Cisteran. They are now checking the pings to see if everything will be played on US West or if we're going to do some West Central. I think everything West is probably indeed the most fair, because Australian internet to US Central is very rough. Pig is hosting. Let's go. So what are you guys voting for? Who is the first option? 775k. Oh, mostly on Pig. Okay. So Ben has played in one BASILISK Big Brain Bouts before. This was approximately 7 or 8 weeks ago. He played against Iba. Now Iba might not be a Zerg that all of you guys are familiar with, but Iba is a legitimately very good youngster from the UK. Often 6000 MMR. Iba won, but it was a 3-2 that went to distance. Every single game was very close and competitive. I think if DeMusliM plays at that level again, then I think Ben wins. But I don't know if he will still play that well. Pig says he's just gonna pee real quick. I think Piggy might be live, by the way, as well. So I want to go ahead and give you guys the first person view if I can. See if Piggy is live yet. Yes, he's taking a tiny break. The man just went live. I'm gonna go ahead and post his channel in the chat. Benny is not live, but obviously you guys should know Ben as well. He streams pretty much every single day. These days it's mostly a little bit of Dota in the morning, and then obviously a lot of Age of Empires. But do not get fooled by the games that this man plays, because he is still damn good at StarCraft 2. More people are voting for Demu, but less points. That's a lot of points on the line. Over 2 million points in the middle. I'm glad you guys are as excited as I am. For me, this is just ultra fun. Pig has actually selected Zerg here, guys, in the very first game. I don't know if he's going to stick with that or not. Lambo with the 52 months. A huge match. I agree. Lambo, of course, the winner of the last main event last Friday. By the way, mate, I cannot believe, I didn't get to talk to you about it, but I cannot believe you won that game on Royal Blood. That was a robbery, Mr. Lambo. That honestly was some serious robbery. Poor Nikita. Age of Empires 4 Esports is honestly doing totally fine. They have like a new event coming up almost every single week. There's a lot of qualifiers. Ben is doing pretty good, but I think he's in a tiny slump in Age of Empires. I feel like he was doing better 6 to 9 months ago than he currently is. Really, that's good luck and fun. Alright. It might actually be a TVZ for the first game. I like it. Look at Pig. He's playing Zerg in game 1. He's going back to the roots, guys. The man who once upon a time dominated Oceania with his Zerg. Pig is gonna try hard. Of course he's gonna try hard. It's $150 for the win, $50 for the loser. But on top of that, it's bragging rights among friends. And you guys all know that that is more important than anything else. These two, they get along incredibly well. Every single event that we've ever casted, that all three of us were at, it's a lot of banter, but great friendship. I can guarantee you guys that. Let's do it!
Let's get it on.
Round 1, fight!
In the top right side of Royal Blood, we are looking at the main base of the man that is rapping Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. For the first time, we have him on a Friday night. It's very early for him, an early Saturday morning. This is Piggy. Pig. X5 Pig. Pigpen. All of it. And in the bottom left side, we are looking at the main base of the man who recently got engaged, by the way. Give him your love. He is the devil Terran of old. These days, spends his time mostly building elephants and playing a bit of Dota, but he is still one hell of a StarCraft 2 player. Once upon a time, the best Terran in Europe, DeMusliM. I don't think I've actually watched Pig play from Observer View. He does play in the weekly pretty much every single week, and I'm sure that like StatFast and Upper3 join his games every now and then. But yeah, I also see Pig mostly play from the first person view, and he is live right now. Once more, you guys can go ahead and hop on over to his stream. Thank you, Fastman, for the 9 months. Pig does look intense indeed. So Ben will again play a TVZ here. I absolutely think there is no guarantee that all of this is going to be TVZ throughout the entire best of 5. But hey, we did see his TVZ against Iba, and I kind of expected Ben back then to do like a lot of all-ins, or just like 8 racks, 3 base all-in. But honestly, he didn't, guys. There were multiple ultra late games where he was 5, 6, 7 bases, all the upgrades, building armor, bunch of goals, and he still looked damn good in controlling the late game Terran army. Hello, Multi. Now, Pig literally picked Zerg in game 1. I think there is a chance he might play some Protoss in this best of 5 too, but he picked Zerg in game 1. I think what he does not want is TVT. 6 links as an opener here for Piggy, as the drone is heading out to morph into a hatch. The Reaper is apparently not going to do something about it. Obviously, there is one advantage, guys, that I do think Pig has, other than the fact that he plays a lot more StarCraft. Ooh, Ben needs to be careful, he is. Obviously, one advantage for Pig is that he plays StarCraft pretty much every single day, and DeMusliM has spent the majority of his time playing Age of Empires and being very good at it. Pig is very familiar in playing with lag. He plays on the American server every single day. This is probably not something that Ben is ultra familiar with in this day and age. If I take a look at my ping to US West, it's like 140-ish. So this obviously is a bit annoying for Benny. Yeah, I actually didn't adjust the size of my face cam, but right now the series is all... the night is almost over, so I can go back to my old overlay. Actually, I get a new computer tomorrow, so I have to redo everything anyway. Too late to change that. There is a good chance that Ben will bust out some battle mech. If he's been talking to Clem and he's been talking to Kalazur, asking for some tips, they may tell him that Hellions and Cyclones is the way to go. Piggy with a pretty early Roach one here. 3 minutes and 40 seconds drops the Roach one. Who's helping you with the computer? My friend Ricardo, aka Breugeltje. He stops by the chat pretty often. And he is my computer tech wizard, because I cannot do anything myself. Ben gets 2 drones for the double Hellion Reaper poke. Does not know about the Roach one yet though. Thank you, Mr. Mauer, for the raid. I don't know if we played... What's the name of that game again? That cute game where that little guy is jumping around. Fuck. I'm drawing a blank right now. What's the name of that game? Hollow Knight, yes. Did Mr. Showtime play some more Hollow Knight? No, not Fall Guy. I know Fall Guys. And the other day I saw him play Hollow Knight and I started laughing. I thought it was pretty cute. Ah, he played SC2? Unbelievable. I feel like my music is a bit loud on NA. Yes, it is. I was like, why am I shouting? Ben is on the edge of creep with a couple of Hellions and a Reaper. This kind of pokes. Pig made a lot of roaches of a relatively weak economy. Completely skipped out on link speed, so he's gonna play maybe some like Roach Infestor. Anybody who has been watching Pig stream or listened to Pig's commentary over the last few weeks will know that Pig is a big believer in the Infestor in this matchup. A much bigger believer than even any of the pros out there. DeMusliM is reading this as a potential all-in. He's throwing down double bunker in the natural. I mean, yeah, it's a couple roaches, but it's honestly just roaches back into droning. I think Ben is a little bit confused about what he has seen so far, or this is just one of these it's better to be safe than sorry moments. Gonna sacrifice the Hellions, doesn't get the greatest shots, gets one very good shot off there, but obviously single Hellion or double Hellion not enough, needs 3 Hellions to one-shot drones. You know, not maybe the best way to get rid of your Hellions. Especially because there are still plenty of creep tumors that he could have potentially pushed back. But, you know, we are moving into Marine Tank, Banshee. It's single Banshee, no cloak. Ben is just going to go back to what he does best. And that is some good old Marine Tank. Banshee could actually find a couple of drones here that are long distance mining, but they are going to morph into an extractor. Well, Pig is just kind of heading into a macro-oriented double Evo Roach build. I have the feeling that pure Marine Tank for Ben, at least for a little while, should be totally fine here. There is our infestation pit. Could of course just be for a hive, but Pig talks a lot about infestors. So I'd be very shocked if he doesn't drop any infestors in this game or series. Banshee does not have cloak. Even if it would have cloaked, it would have probably died with all these spore crawlers. Well, I thought it would die. Queen from the main base. Piggy gets the Banshee. It honestly felt more like a safety Banshee for DeMusliM, and obviously forced out a couple spore crawlers. And it seems that this game is really going to be about the first proper Marine Tank move out. We've got 3 tanks on the map, but at the moment Ben is not bringing them. It's all about the Marines. Marines obviously have a lot of micro potential. They do not have combat shield yet, so DeMusliM needs to be a tiny bit careful here. Pokes. Tries to get a queen, does not get a queen. Nothing really to be gained here. There is our first infestor, by the way. I like how Pig has a couple of spotter Zerglings. One on the bottom right side, one in the center. In case DeMusliM would randomly pick up a medevac or 2 medevacs and try to send it into the main base. Piggy does get a heads up. 17 roaches on the way. Jeez Louise. Nice scan over here in the center of the map by Ben. Yeah, the creep is not really going yet. Okay, Pig a little bit indecisive here on whether or not he wanted to chase his army. Ben is just kind of flexing his macro muscle, probably feeling quite confident, knowing that Marine Tank, if he gets close to maxing out, is going to do perfectly fine against roaches and ravages. DeMusliM snipes a Ravager, picks up the units, unloads into the main base. Main base is quite exposed, guys. There is a hive on the way, 8 minute, 20 second hive by the looks of it. That's obviously quite quick, but it still feels that DeMusliM should have a pretty terrifying push. As he picks up 2 more medevacs and he's going to send those towards the top left. Pretty slow and safe approach over our 2 legends so far. I kind of normally like games like this for the Terran, because obviously the Terran army should scale better. But if Pig gets a couple of Vipers in the mix, well, then anything is still possible. Pig pulls the Roaches out of position to deal with these Marines in the center right when the double drop shows up. So DeMusliM again finds a couple drones. We're looking at 7, 8, 9, 10 drones. Spore Crawler going down. Not a bad drop. One of the 2 medevacs did go down, but still pretty decent. I mean, DeMusliM still dropping in the main base as well. He's trying to gun down a couple Hydras. That doesn't quite work out. This rub though, guys, is going. Pig's floating a lot of money. The hype is done. He has lost a decent amount of drones. He's gonna end up losing a few more. DeMusliM is finding some value here, baby. Like, these were just Marines, not necessarily the biggest investment. I think DeMusliM found some pretty good damage. We have 6 tanks right now, and Pig does not have any Vipers. The Hive is done, but he does not have any Vipers. And dealing with 6 tanks, yeah, now he fires up the Vipers, but I'm afraid that that's going to be a little bit late. I think Pig is going to have to sacrifice this base, unless he just sends everything that he has. A couple Lurkers are morphing, but DeMusliM is going to easily get on top of this hatchery. Throws down a couple scans. Roaches? Hey. That looks slow. Love that little pickup there as well, just to create a tiny bit more chaos. It's only a single Marine and single Marauder and 4 Marines. But if you ignore it, you're still going to end up losing a Queen and 10 drones very quickly. The 2 main armies are flirting with each other in the center of the map. Couple fungals go down, but it's just on Marines. Okay, Lurkers in the range of tanks. Seismic Spines, not quite done yet. 10 seconds away from finishing up. DeMusliM has a bit of a history, guys, in stimming forward into Lurkers. I love the way that Ben is doing this, by the way. These non-stop pickups. There we go. Tiny stim forward. Does get the Lurkers. Gets on top of these morphing Lurkers as well. And the double drop is unloading in the top left side. Sport Crawler helping out though. And Piggy successfully cleaned this up. Infestor very exposed, leading the charge. Does go down. Units lost resource tab now shows us that Pig has lost a little bit more. 76 SCVs on the side of the DeMusliM, only 73 drones. Pig needs a phenomenal fight with Lurkers, but he's not able to get any Lurkers up. He lost the Lurkers that he had on the left side, and then he lost a couple of morphing Hydras into Lurkers. And running into this many tanks on the edge of Trip, that cannot ever end well for the Zerg. Nice Blinding Cloud though, the Vipers do show up. And the Blinding Clouds definitely make a bit of a difference here, at least on the right side. But on the left side, it's all DeMusliM. Still rallying in units. One more Lurker is there. DeMusliM really wants that Lurker. He gets it immediately as well. Pig is trying to grab together every single Roach and Hydra that he has. 2,400 minerals, no gas. Just no gas. Obviously, Vipers cost a lot of gas. Infestors cost a lot of gas. The upgrades. Trying to get Lurkers out in time. I mean, with Lurkers, there is still a tiny chance, obviously, because there are 0 ghosts out on the map. But we have no Lurkers at the moment. And this many tanks, I think it's going to be problematic. Hydras in a concave. Blinding Cloud does go down. Nice Blinding Clouds, I want to say. Pig and his Hydras and his Queens. Is there enough firepower here for our Zerg? I'm afraid not, because the tank line is so deep. It goes all the way down to the bottom side of our screen. Pig is going to shove everything forward that he has. He does have a couple of Lurkers in the mix now too. The fight is actually kind of close. And is DeMusliM running out of scans or what? Is he running out of scans and loses the final 2 tanks? Meanwhile, he's mining off the base at 6 o'clock. He's mining off the 9 o'clock base. This is an orbital as well for good measures. And DeMusliM is honestly doing a great job in spending the resources that he's been mining. And Pig has been struggling with it. Only 3 Queens as well. DeMusliM has obviously done a good job in picking up a couple of these Queens. He's gonna stim, he's gonna find the drones on the left side, double scan, denying all the creep. I'm afraid that Pig is gonna have to give up on this base in the top left. Don't think he can realistically defend it. Like with Viper Lurker, there is a chance. But the problem is that we just cannot get the proper Lurker count up. 4 Lurkers and a couple Vipers. A few SCVs going down right now. Okay, nice job by Pig. I kind of missed that one. But 1 Lurker snuck to the bottom side of the map. And this spiky boy is getting a few SCVs. It's enough to be very annoying. Pig also feels that this is a moment to maybe make something happen on the left side. Drops a Blinding Cloud, gets both tanks. Guys, Piggy was in all sorts of trouble, but it's starting to look better and better for him at this point. Even though obviously the army's still fine for Ben. Okay, this is a real DeMusliM move. He's dropping in the top left. Okay. What is happening, guys? It's all out offense on both sides. Who cares about defending? Who believes in defending? DeMusliM with 107 army supply. If Pig would have like 6 defensive Lurkers, he'd be totally fine. But he doesn't. He has 25 Hydras, no Lurkers. DeMusliM stims into the natural. Is going to be able to take out this hatch rather quickly. Hydras on creep though are pretty sexy. These bio units still stimming. We've got 3-4 fights happening at the same time. Where are the Vipers? There are 3 of them. DeMusliM needs to be super careful. He's somehow able to get away with it. Casually runs into the main base. Picks up his units. Unloads them at the 3 o'clock position. Gets a kill on the hatchery. Why the hell not? These boys are video gaming. Nice parasitic bomb. DeMusliM first splits it, then brings it back to the rest. Oh no, all these medevacs are in a bit of trouble. Can the Vipers catch up? Can we get an abduct? Yes, we can. Oh, DeMusliM loses basically 5 medevacs full of bio units. Did manage to send one back into the main base. PiG is definitely doing a great job in bringing this back with the high-tech units. And even though Ben built a lot of Ghost against Iba, he is still not building any Ghost at all. I almost want to say it doesn't matter how many bases you kill. If we're not going to get any Ghost, Lurker Viper is a problem. With the capital P. I mean, Ben obviously is in a fantastic economic spot, guys, but I have seen DeMusliM lose games like this in the past. If you got, ooh, okay, this is obviously a very nice catch. One Lurker gets picked up immediately in the center of the map. Okay, he's gonna drop double Ghost Academy now. I don't see any medevacs here. Nice little blinding cloud there, but PiG is still gonna end up losing another hatchery, which means that his economy is going from bad to worse. I don't know if Ben is able to accomplish something with this tiny drop. We'll once more unload in the back of the main base by the looks of it. Ben just needs to get a couple Ghosts. If DeMusliM has like 5 Ghosts, this game is over. Economically, Ben has played a great game when it comes to the macro and making sure that he spends the money that he's been working with. He's done a great game, but his army is just not as good as PiG's army at the moment. There is no answer for the Vipers. There is not a proper answer for multiple Lurkers. Like 1 or 2, yeah, sure. 5 plus, that's an issue. 17 minutes, first game. The first Ghosts are on the way. Ben right now just needs to buy some time for himself. Missile turrets, by the way, getting a lot of shots off there on the Vipers. All that DeMusliM needs is buy a little bit of time for himself, get a couple of Ghosts out. But Ben is a fighter. And I've seen him stim forward into Lurkers a few too many times. Up to the point where even Alice had to listen to the fact that Lurkers are a bit too powerful. And Ben, his fiancée Alice, she knows all about the Lurker, okay guys? I've seen the streams. It's a real thing. Just running around with bio units right now for Ben is perfectly fine, because he's got Ghosts on the way. And as long as he can just keep PiG busy for a split second, make sure that Piggy is going to chase these medevacs flying around, floating around, that Ghost count is increasing. We've got 5 Ghosts out right now. There are 3 additional Ghosts on the way. Personal cloaking too. I feel that Ben has pretty much done it, but you just never really know how these late game fights are going to go. Nice parasitic bomb there in the top left side. Double para bomb. Hello, Ben. Oh, Ben is like, you know what? It's going to keep him here forever. That's an interaction, guys. As we have a nuke going down, but that Ghost gets revealed by the fact it wasn't cloaked, I guess? No, personal cloaking wasn't done yet. Okay. 121 army supply for PiG is a lot of army supply. But the income advantage, it's all been banned for the last 5 minutes. And one could even say for the last 10 minutes. And as long as DeMusliM does not do anything silly with his Ghost, he should have the better army here. Pew pew. 1 pew at a time. What a great first match. It's everything I hoped for and more. I love it. Makes me so happy. Seems that Ben tried to save a couple of these medevacs that were tied up in the top left side, but they all got picked off by the Hydras. They were obviously very low on HP. But for Ben, it's a lot more about getting rid of a couple of the Marines and Marauders and just increasing the Ghost count. Even taking the bottom right side at this point. DeMusliM has definitely done a great job economically in this game. The ghost transition took a little while, but it's here now. Built 2 ghost academies at the same time right next to each other. I like how PiG is like 19 minutes and 40 seconds link speed. You know? Now that's a transition, baby. 33 Hydras and 9 Lurkers and 2 Vipers in the mix as well. If DeMusliM doesn't mess up, his army is better. His army should be more expensive as well, as you guys can see in the top left side. Planetary Fortress, though, is taking a lot of damage. Planetary Fortress will fall. Now it just all comes down to the ghost control. DeMusliM has to know that he's done a great job in battering down the economy of PiG throughout this game. So time is on his side. And even if he loses a planetary, loses a command center, that's not the biggest of deals. I want to say he can do this all day, every day, but then suddenly he shows up with 28 Marines again. Oh, don't stim up the red Ben! Ben! Okay. Seems like this Terran army is big and powerful enough that he can get away with it. The lurker count wasn't that high. We have 7 infestors on the way now, but I don't think these 7 infestors are really going to make the difference. Ghosts are good. I think this was a very close game until DeMusliM finally started producing ghosts. And once he got ghosts, he's going to drop a couple nukes, siege up a tank, throw down a scan, force these Hydras to cancel their transition into lurkers as well. Don't nuke your own army, DeMusliM. I don't know if there's an Age of Empire equivalent of nuking your own army, but seems that Ben is well aware of the fact that he dropped the nuke there, and that's probably the only way that game 1 can slip out of his hands. You thought DeMusliM only played Age of Empires 4? He pretty much does, but Ben is just a gamer, and Ben will always be good. Nice fungal though. Okay, that's a very sweet fungal and another fungal. The problem is we don't have any lurkers. Imagine if there were a couple of lurkers to capitalize on those god tier fungals. Those are very sexy fungals by Piggy, but man, if all 5 games are gonna be like this, guys, we're gonna be here until midnight. Or way past midnight even. But hey, this is our final best of 5 of the night, so I don't feel like we are in any rush. I've cleared the schedule, guys. This is all I want to see. Personal cloaking has been activated. We've got 15 ghosts on the map. It really does not feel like a fair fight. PiG has battled, and he has tried to get back into it. And at one point, it started to look pretty promising. But DeMusliM realized that all he really had to do to close out this game was start ghost production. PiG is making a very ambitious late game switch into Broodlords, but Broods are not gonna save this game, Piggy. That gold is not gonna save the game, as we have a couple of nukes going down. Almost. That would have been nice for Ben. Big stim on the left side. Ben is gonna get on top of the gold minerals, and all that PiG has left is a couple of fungals. And he will land another good fungal and another good fungal. But it's not going to change the outcome of this game. Game 1 belongs to our elephant lover, DeMusliM, representing Team Liquid, of course. Taking the 1-0 lead here. Honestly, very cool game between these two. I think it definitely looked good for PiG at a certain moment, but I have the feeling that PiG wasn't quite aware of the fact that the ghosts were as late as they were. And if he would have just kind of gone a bit heavier on the lurkers, kept them together, Ben would have had a nightmarish of a time trying to like stim in or trying to just clean up like 10 plus lurkers with pure tank bio. That's not easy, but it didn't really come to that. I think Ben did a great job in this kind of running circles at one point, flying around, and even if he wasn't finding crazy damage with the Marines and Marauders, he was keeping PiG busy, and by keeping PiG busy, he kept him on his side of the map, and that allowed him to get more and more ghosts out. Hello, Nima. 105 months, baby. Let's go. That's a lot of months. Thank you so much. PiG is just going to get warmed up. Yeah, it's still early for Piggy. Maybe the longer this best of 5 goes, the more it's going to favor the man who just woke up, rather than the man who probably had an 8-hour stream today and fulfilled his obligations of being a great dad for Esther, keeping Alice entertained. I don't know how the Fridays look for Benny, but this is a best of 5. Everything is always best of 5 on the Friday night. We run this event every single Friday, guys. This is the 18th edition already. If you guys do !B, it will link you to the Liquipedia page, and you guys can see some of the previous games. We also have a YouTube channel where you guys can watch any of the series back of previous weeks, etc. Last week we had a very fun main event between Lambo and SKillous. And I definitely recommend you guys taking a look at those games. And now that we have Reynor as part of Basilisk 2, I guess maybe we can get some Reynor against Serral soon as a main event. A little ZVZ practice for the Basilisk boys. Thank you, Gio. ShoWTime was here a minute ago. I know he was. I mean, all the Euro boys are watching this. There is nothing that the pro gamers love more than a nice battle of the casters. So there's actually Rodius, the head of the Cabal. I mean, Zerg just lost again. Zerg is just not good enough. Oh, guys, Piggy is switching race. He's switching race. He's going Protoss, an ancient Cisteran. DeMusliM says, oh, let's go. Zerg game 1, Protoss game 2. Okay, okay. So much for the Zerg Cabal. So much for Zerg being weak, or Zerg being too strong and Protoss being weak. Pig lost game 1 with Zerg. He's gonna switch things up and play Protoss in game 2. I honestly don't get to see too much of Pig's Protoss, so I just don't know what to expect. Ben has always been pretty deadly against Protoss, so I don't know if this is a great choice or not, but I'm very curious to see how this game will play out.
Round 2, fight!
In the bottom left side, we are looking at the main base of everybody's favorite Aussie, representing the stream. He's live right now. You guys can take a look at it. Just posted the link in the chat. Played game 1 as Zerg, playing game 2 as Protoss. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. This is Piggy. And in the top right side, we are looking at the main base of the man that is representing Team Liquid. I heard they call him Lord Voldemort in this day and age, taking the 1-0 lead in his second appearance in a BASILISK Big Brain Bouts. This is DeMusliM. It's a best of 5, $150 for the winner, $50 for the loser. That was Pig's off race. Well, Pig plays random. He has been playing random on his own stream for, I want to say, 5+ years at this point. But if we go back to Piggy's pro gamer days, Pig was a Zerg player. And Zerg was definitely his best race for a long time. I asked him about it actually in Katowice during, I don't know, one of the moments where we were watching a game against each other. I was like, so you're still playing random? I was like, but how is it? Are you actually random? Because when I used to live in America and I played a lot against Pig, I was like, you weren't random back then, man. You played as random, but your Zerg was so much better. He's like, yeah, he is like, back then that was true. But in this day and age, he's like, honestly, there are some matchups and some players that I do way better with my Protoss and my Terran than I do with my Zerg, so. Those are his words, not mine. If he's lying, I'm lying. What is Ben doing here, guys? Marine, expand, no SCV scout.
Command center upgrade complete.
Is this how he plays Age of Empires as well? I don't know if I have any Age of Empires experts in the chat. He would die to my 3 Stalker rush, okay? This man never learns. Why are you so greedy, Ben? No SCV scout, no bunker. I don't think that this is the man that Alice truly wants to marry. Oh my god, he's 3-rexing. Oh my god. Oh no, it's 3-rex against Stargate. Okay, he's getting a bunker now. I'm happy to at least see that. I do feel like that bunker is kind of late, no? Would have been very bad if Pig went for some sort of a MaxPax build. Yeah, guys. 3-rex against Stargate. I don't have a lot of nightmares in this great life that I'm living, but if I do have nightmares, this is one of them. You go ahead and open up with a little depth. You shade it to the other side of the map. You're like, oh, nice little macro game. We either go Oracle into Phoenix or we go straight Phoenix. What's the worst thing that could happen? Well, 28 Marines at minute 5 with Stim. That's the worst thing that could happen. Whoa, okay. Great scout at least. Fantastic scout. This is not supposed to happen. DeMusliM definitely made a little mistake there, letting this adept in. But honestly, even if you're PiG now and you get a scout on this, what do you do? I think it's still hard. Okay, DeMusliM didn't just let the adept in, he also let it out. It's very sweet. Wow, he goes Oracle into Twilight Council. Okay, it seems that PiG is just going to try to get some early damage going. And he's just going to battle with adepts and oracles at the same time to reduce the army size. And then make a very quick transition into Blink Stalkers. No, oh my god, PiG, you have no respect for the 3-Rex at all. You're so crazy. This man does not respect the 3-Rex, guys. This is how you know that Piggy is actually still a Zerg player by heart. Because there's not a Protoss in the world who would look at 3-Rex and be like, you know what? Let's go ahead and fuck it up. Then expand and then fuck it up even more with Blink Stalkers. Oh my god. Pig is crazy. These Australians, man. That's when you know that Pig wakes up in the morning, opens his toilet seat, and he sees a fucking anaconda in it. And he just grabs it with his bare hands and throws it on his front porch. Pig has no fear in life whatsoever. A charge? What? Okay. I have no idea what's happening over here. What the what am I looking at? Okay. Maybe. What are we doing? Charge loss to run over 3-Rex. I wish that was true, mate, but that's just not true. It really comes down to the move out. It comes down to the engagement, but going charge first against 3-Rex is absolutely not by definition great. But obviously if there is a stasis trap or yeah, maybe Ben makes a silly attack or accidentally double stims. That's a lot of gateways. There goes Phoenix. What the fuck? Pig is a wild Protoss, guys. Hasn't built a lot of probes, even though he went up to 3 bases very quickly. He hasn't been building too many probes. Yeah, he should have a lot of Zealots indeed. And with a Guardian Shield, yeah, I can definitely see it. DeMusliM is moving out before the Medivacs. Oracle shows up, activates Pulsar Beam. Couple of Marines will stim forward. Marines are good, Piggy. That was a shit Oracle. It was a shit Oracle, but... Okay. Whoa, that's a big counterattack. Yeah. Pig has absolutely no fear of the Anaconda in his toilet, guys. 2 drop airs, drop down his window as well. DeMusliM is going to stim forward. Ooh, nice positioning. You cannot fight this. Okay. Well, Pig thinks he can fight it. Guardian Shield, Guardian Shield. Guardian Shield is good. He's going to drop a force field as well. The Nexus goes down. The Pig is going to be able to clean this up. The real question is, how much are the Zealots able to do on the other side of the map? I want to say the answer is not much, but... I'm surprised, by the way, that 5 Zealots died that quickly. Pig now warping in 8 Zealots. Still on 44 probes. No Forge. This is now turned into like a Zealot all-in. DeMusliM lost the majority of his Marines, but obviously Marines and Marauders have micro potential. The Zealots with charge, not so much. One bunker is going to die very quickly, but the other one can get mass repaired. So Pig is going to ignore that first bunker. And he's not... I don't know about this. Feels a bit clumsy. It all feels a bit clumsy and the Medivacs are almost out. This does not look very good for Pig. Pig knows that, so he's going to try to re-expand again on the other side of the map. If instead of using the first 5 Zealots to counterattack, Pig would have just used these Zealots defensively. I think he would have been perfectly fine indeed against the initial 3-Rex move out. Yeah, the Zealot counterattack kind of backfired. It ended up Pig losing the Nexus, lost the pylon, doesn't have a great probe count. He was low on gases. He's going to take the 3rd and the 4th gas now, and it seems that Piggy is going to try to get some magical storms out. The Stargate play was also a tiny bit underwhelming this game. Oracle was useless. That one Phoenix didn't really do a whole lot. It seems like it's going to be Zealot Archon at first. Like Zealot Archon Phoenix is very good, but the Phoenix count is so low that we can't even really call this Zealot Archon Phoenix. Our man from down under is in trouble. I think that is safe to say. DeMusliM has 1 upgrade, 64 army supply. If there was ever maybe a fight that Pig could still win, I would say this is the fight, especially if Ben starts the fight by picking up 8 Marines by accident. That's obviously a mistake. Here come the Zealots. Maybe lift a couple of the Marauders, Piggy. Marauders are expensive units. He's going to lift Marines instead. All that DeMusliM needs to do, guys, is just going to get a couple of Widow Mines, run back towards the Widow Mines, and once the Widow Mines are there, there is really not a whole lot that this Zealot-heavy army can do. 5 barracks now as well on 2 bases. Ben is looking really good in this best of 5. For a man who builds elephants for a living, he's showing us that he still understands this game. Throws down the scan, he's going to chase down this army. I don't know what Pig can do. Pig is going to warp in 5 Zealots, trying to get some damage done on the other side of the map. I don't hate that idea, but basically what we need, guys, is some friendly fire of the Widow Mines. If you're on Team Pig here, what you need is friendly fire on the Widow Mines. Armory is about to finish up as well. Piggy, maybe drag. Can we drag with the Phoenix? I don't know. Are the Zealots doing something? Nope. Good repair by the DeMusliM defensively. Marines and Marauders here setting up in a nice little concave. And this Terran army is bigger and better than the Protoss army. One of the Archons gets picked up immediately. Couple Zealots running forward one by one, but this is not a fight that Pig can really take. My Templar getting picked up, but there was no storm anyway. Both Archons get popped like balloons, and even though the Widow Mines didn't even really come into play, this Terran army is big, it's powerful, it steams forward, and it seems that the DeMusliM will take a pretty convincing 2-0 lead here in the main event of the Basilisk Big Brain Bouts. Pig is forced to ride. GG, well played. Benny 2-0. I would go back to Zerg. I have the feeling that Pig Zerg still a bit better than his Protoss. There was potential in this game, but yeah, I don't know. Pig just did not respect the 3 Rex at all. He looked at the 3 Rex and he's like, 3 bases, Oracle, Phoenix, bunch of gateways, Zealots, counterattack. I'm like, what? Yeah, if the 5 Zealots that he used to counterattack, let's say they were kind of just hovering in the center of the map and he would have used those as flanking Zealots against the 3 Rex move out, I think Pig would have kept the Nexus alive and would have had a great cleanup. And then he could still counterattack with everything else. But yeah, I think the initial 5 Zealot counterattack was a bit ambitious. Wish I bet bigger on the DeMusliM. He still has the touch. Ben is just a gamer, guys. Whether you love the DeMusliM or not, you cannot deny the fact that this man has a great ability to play video games. And he's good at almost every single thing that he touches. He was a great Warcraft 3 player. He was a great StarCraft 2 player. He's a great Age of Empires player. I think he sucks in Dota though, but you know, that's a team game. Ben is a gamer, and he's damn good at it. Thank you, by the way, to my man Glaive, and thank you to Levo BW saying happy Big Brain Bouts from the US, donating $50 to us. Let's go, mate. I really appreciate it. I have the alerts turned off whenever I enter in game. Like if I'm out of a game, all the alerts will show up. But if I'm in game, I don't see it because sometimes, you know, if people spam donations and every 20 seconds you guys will hear some sort of a sound, text to speech, and I think it's a bit annoying to watch StarCraft 2 like that. So that's why I have it disabled when I'm casting these games. Thank you, Protoss A Move King, for the 18 months. I mean, I lived together with Ben in Cologne, Germany, a long time ago, and he was pretty good. One of Ben's favorite stories, actually, and one of my worst gaming memories, is when we lived together. We were both young. Obviously, he was even younger than I was, but this is like the year 2010. He lived in Germany to play StarCraft. I lived in Germany to cast StarCraft. We shared an apartment together, and they remade Quake. Like, I don't know which Quake it was, but it was some sort of a Quake 3 arena or something. It got a little push back then. And Ben is like, hey man, you want to play Quake? I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I'll play Quake, but I'm not very good. He's like, yeah, but I'm not good either. I was like, okay, awesome. So we both installed the game. And I always loved watching Painkiller and Quake on streams, but I never really played it. But I told him I was not good. And he's like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'm not good either. And basically, from the moment we both loaded into the arena, he was literally playing like a fucking pro gamer. He's like hopping everywhere, getting all the boosters, all the armors. He's spawn killing me. And after 12 minutes, the score is like 18-0. And I walked over to the other room and I was like, fuck you, I'm never playing Quake with you again. And I uninstalled it and he just started laughing out loud. He thought it was the funniest thing ever. Like, Quake is brutal if you are completely outmatched by your opponent. Like, it wasn't even fun for me. I couldn't even grab a gun. He was everywhere, hopping all over the place, one-shotting me. I was like, fuck you, man. Not cool. And he's like, I really haven't played this game a lot. I was like, fuck off. I was like, no one believes that. Ready when you guys are. It seems that Dragon Skills is going to be our third map. Potentially the final game of the night. It's been a long Friday of video games, but I absolutely enjoyed it. So happy that I'm finally no longer sick. I've had a pretty awful, basically, Friday till yesterday, I would say. It was not a pleasant week in the life of Roddy. But today, I kind of feel like I'm back. I'm happy. A couple of them are probably down to play Andy, but a couple of them would not be down to play. Pig has selected Protoss here on Dragon Skills. Protoss again? What is it going to be, Pig? Protoss or Zerg? What a prediction for Jones versus Gain. I'm going John Jones. I feel like whenever it comes to certain guys that just never seem to lose, they never lose, and John Jones is one of them. I'm in the lobby, by the way. I can hide the overlay for a split second. Pig said, just give me 1 minute, so he's taking a little 1 minute break. Pig was also down to play a best of 7, and I would have loved that, but we always do best of 5s, and I didn't really feel like switching it up too much. I said, after that, okay. So I asked Pig, are you gonna play Protoss again? And he's like, no. After that, I gotta go Zerg again, lol. Also this map. Good luck, lads. Alright, so he's back to Zerg. No more Protoss. Back to Zerg, at least for now. Of course, if Pig maybe wins like this game and even the next game, there's a chance that we get to see a little bit of Protoss in game 5. But for now, our man is back to playing Zergy. Love to see Ben play Protoss. Ben was actually pretty good with Protoss too. I think he got up to like 5,700 MMR with Protoss when he was actively playing. Well, that's honestly quite good. All right, game 3.
Round 3. Fight.
In the top left side of Dragon Skills, this man needs your love and support right now. He's our Aussie, the Thunder from Down Under. This is Piggy. We're gonna have to rehost. Sometimes there's a user interface bug. Okay. So once in a blue moon, if you play custom games, instead of the usual interface that you have when you play StarCraft 2, it just turns into bright pink, and it's obviously a bit distracting. I had it once turning into bright teal when I played against Indy, but I just rolled with it. I lost that game. I blame it on the interface. So we're gonna have to rehost this one, unfortunately, and we'll do the intros again. Thank you all, Peen Dog, for the 86 months, a 105 month, and 86 months. These resubbies, guys. How many is over 5.7k? 300 in the world? Yeah, give or take. The thing is, maybe even a bit less, because there are a lot of other people that have multiple accounts or have off races that obviously count as one person. So I think top 300 sounds pretty accurate. It's probably closer to top 200 even. I would also, yeah, the main reason why I got Warcraft 3 reforged, right? Or was it remastered? No, reforged, was because of the interface in StarCraft 2. But then when I actually used them, I didn't really love them. I used them all for like 2 games, and I was like, I can't quite get used to this. And then I stopped using them. And I definitely never played Warcraft 3 Reforged, because that game really sucked. Hey, Pig is of the same school as me.
Round 3. Fight.
Apparently, I have found my only other gamer on this planet that prefers spawning at the bottom over spawning at the top. In the top left side of Dragon Skills, the Thunder from Down Under. Down 02 needs your love and support to turn things around. Back to Zerk. It's Big E. And in the bottom right side, we are looking at the main base of the man who's making his second appearance in the BASILISK Big Brain Bouts. 6 or 7 weeks ago, he had a nail-biting series against Iba as a modern War of the Roses. This time around, he has a very comfortable 2-0 lead in the main event. Can he close it out? Representing Team Liquid, it's DeMusliM. Yeah, apparently he's just rolling with it. I know he said it was still pink. If he's fine with it, I'm fine with it. Yeah, let's go, Piggy. I obviously love Ben. He's one of my best mates, but I'd love to see another game between these two. I'm having fun. I'm really enjoying this. I know a lot of you guys have been enjoying it, so hope we can make this happen. Obviously, big shout out to Basilisk for allowing me to run the BASILISK Big Brain Bouts every single Friday. We have a couple of comments in the chat. You guys can now use !Basilisk Discord, where there is a community Basilisk Discord. And maybe you guys can run into Serral and Reynor there and ask them some questions. If not, there's always a Biomorph, there's always a Roddy. But there should be a little Serral and Reynor there too. That Discord is relatively new, and in the future, the idea is that players will get a certain role, certain color in the Discord, and then all the players that will play in the BASILISK Big Brain Bouts every single Friday get picked through the Discord. So I'll see if I can give you guys a proper comment. It's !Basilisk Discord that gives you guys the link. And apparently it's just a proper link of Basilisk GG. Is there always a Roddy? Over at the Discord, there's always a Roddy. I mean, I might be in my own Discord, but if I'm not in my own Discord, I'll be in that Discord. What are the requirements to be a player? The lowest I have gone so far for some of these show matches, I think, is 4,800 MMR, but I'm willing to do a 4,500 MMR opening match once. Like, if I can find a good game between two lovely individuals, I don't mind starting the night once with 4,500. Obviously, the main event always needs to be good. Co-main event always needs to be good, but the first two matches, I'm allowed to be creative, and we can do some lower league StarCraft. As long as it's fun and competitive, I don't really mind. Oh yeah, Fear Dragon against Biomorph is probably the lowest MMR match we've done. That was 4,100, 4,200, yeah. But I think that's obviously a caster clash, so that's not totally the same. Get Upper 3 versus Fear Dragon. Upper 3 has played already on a Friday night. Look at Ben, by the way. Double starport. Okay. Okay, DeMusliM. Statfast also played once. He played against Molten and he lost 0-3. Upper 3 played, I think, against Blood Milan. Took a very good 1-0 lead in the first game, in a nice macro-oriented game. And then he decided to start cheesing and he lost in the next 3 games in a row. Got Hyperflight Rotors on the way, guys. DeMusliM. Some Hyperflight Rotors. He does need 2 tech labs. I hope he's aware of this. Second starport right now feels a little bit useless. Okay, I'm gonna do a little swap through with this barracks. A bunch of speed banshees coming out of Benny. Feels weird. Double starport. Hyperflight Rotors of 2 bases. Fear Dragon against Wadi. I have actually tried to get Wadi to play. And Wadi is down. We just quite couldn't find a Friday that would work for him and for me and for his opponent. But there is a good chance that you guys will see Wadi play some StarCraft 2 in the near future. Pig, guys, has an Overlord scouting. And this Overlord scout is big. It's going to see both starports. It's going to see both tech labs. And it's going to see both of them spinning. Obviously, might be worried for a split second that this is Ben pulling a quick one on him and that these upgrades are fake and he's actually going for double starport battle cruiser. But if he sees no fusion core, And now he sees the Banshee. He has to know. Alright, Pig. Perfect scout. Weird build. Probably not the best build that you're going up against. Drops double Evo. Has a couple roaches on the way. What is it going to be, Piggy? What will be the response to the double starport, hyperflight rotors, and cloaked Banshees? Still fires above upgrades. Seems like he's just gonna get a couple of spore crawlers and try to play a macro-oriented game from here on out. Pig definitely saw that scout. Banshees! Ay, ay, ay. Oh, Pig, this is not where you want your queens to be. 2 queens already going down. That is definitely a big problem. Make it 3 queens. Make it 4 queens. Pig loses 4 queens. Obviously a picture perfect moment for DeMusliM to show up and find these queens between bases, off creep. And obviously queens need to be on creep to drop a transfuse to one another. Well, that's obviously not the start that Piggy was looking for. But I don't think it's necessarily over. These builds are weird and it's just Banshees. I want to say it's just queens. We've got a grand total of 5 spore crawlers. We have a few hydras on the way. We don't want to lose any extra queens though. It's kind of inevitable. Another queen falls. DeMusliM at this point running circles around Piggy. There will be a couple of hydras hatching of some of these eggs, but the problem is that hydras are going to spawn one by one. We haven't had a single 3-0 yet tonight, and I really did not think we would ever see a 3-0 here. But Ben is having a field day. Pig is in a bit of trouble. That Hydra Den is in a very awkward spot too, by the way. These Banshees could have technically gone for the Hydra Den. They won't quite do that yet. Pig does still have a 10 worker advantage, but now the 3rd CC has landed. How many queens did we lose in total? 6. It's a perfect game from DeMusliM. We are 7 minutes in and it's a perfect game. He has killed 19 units and lost absolutely nothing. Benjamin Baker, guys. He's popping off. Lord Voldemort still got it. Scenes. It's getting a bit rowdy over there in that forest in Sweden. I visited Ben's house, by the way, and some of you guys may have stopped by Ben's stream, and he often tells people he lives in the forest. When Ben says he lives in the forest, trust me, when he lives in the forest, it's legitimately one house and nothing but trees around his house. There's no one there. It's kind of scary. It's beautiful, but also kind of scary. 9 Banshees on the map, and these Banshees are gonna have a field day picking up a couple of Ravagers. I was really surprised to see the Roaches at first for Pig, because either you make nothing but Roaches and Queens, or you don't make Roaches at all when you go up against double starport Banshee. Ben is having a field day. But hey, maybe with some Infestors, some Vipers, I want to say there is still some hope. The good thing about going up against mech is that obviously mech is a bit slow, and you can sometimes recover from the early game beatings that you are taking, whether you play Protoss or Zerg. Oh yeah, guys. 36 units going down on the side of Pig. 13 drones, a Ling, a Hydra, an Overlord, a Ravager, and 6 Queens. And a whole bunch of Creepdoors. And Ben is still perfect, but mech against Hive Tech Zerg, and the Hive is very quick. For Pig, it's still a 9-minute Hive, right? All things considered, this is a 9-minute Hive. And with a couple of parasitic bombs and fungals, this army could melt. So even though the game has been picture perfect so far for DeMusliM, I want to say I still think there's a little bit of hope. Look at this army, it's so perfectly clumped up. Piggy, this is where we land the fungal from the high ground. Ah, nice fungal, very nice fungal. Oh, that's a couple of benches going down. That's a start. Ben is going to send the Banshees home and he's going to split the Hellions off. I wonder if he's going to drive them into the natural and main base or not. Seems that the answer is yes. These Hellions have blue flame. Alright, well that's a proper drone barbecue, guys. I think we're going to end up losing 20 plus drones here very quickly. Not just to these Hellions, but obviously to all these cloaked Banshees. Even though fungal, no, yes, no. No fungal. No fungal available. Ben is playing a pretty dangerous game here. Way behind enemy lines. It's only 14 drones in the end. And I say only because that was a lot of Hellions. And obviously there was the combo for the Hellions and the Banshees wombo combo. And that would have been bad news. You know what, guys? Despite everything, I don't even hate it that much for Pig. I really believe in Hive-Tech Zerg against a Terran that does not have any ghosts. And we saw how late the ghosts were for Ben. Nice parasitic bomb. Nice split off by DeMusliM. Very well done there. Actually very quick. Man, Bunches is so quick. I do feel like they are in trouble though, right? They should be in trouble. Yes, no, maybe. Hydra, Spore Crawlers. There we go. One more parasitic bomb. Yeah. Alright, that's a lot of Banshees going down all of a sudden. But yeah, we saw how late the ghosts were when DeMusliM was playing Bio. Now he's playing Mech. And normally if you play Mech, it's a little bit harder to get into ghosts than it is when you play Bio. So, Pig being a Hive-Tech Zerg with some Vipers, with an Infestor. Plenty of static defenses apparently already well set up to deal with some of these Hellion drive-bys. Blue Flame Hellion still slapped though. That's 7 drones. More Blue Flame Hellions over here on the left side and a Cloak Banshee apparently. DeMusliM is having, I think, the time of his life. Reliving some of his glory days. Oh my goodness. There's just so many exposed drones everywhere. Pig is just rebuilding drones while losing drones. So obviously I guess it's pretty good, but it'd be even better if we don't lose all the drones to begin with. 37 drones, guys. Went down in like the last 60 seconds of this game of StarCraft 2. But we have a Lurker Den. We have Seismic Spines. We do not have Adaptive Talents yet, but it's close to finishing up. Despite all of this, I still believe. Because Ben obviously is a bit out of practice, and I think his mech timings are not as crisp, to use Pig's vocabulary, as they could be. I still believe in Hive-Tech Zerg and the power of all the spellcasters. I wouldn't use my Viper energy like that though. Couple of Hellions. Why don't you abduct the Hellions, guys? It's a lot of Cyclones. But Blinding Cloud is good against it. Abduct is good against it. Fungo is good against it. We're morphing 10 Lurkers. Where are we morphing the 10 Lurkers? Over here. Ben has thrown down a scan. Pig's army is a bit out of position. Piggy! Piggy! These are your Lurkers, mate! Burrow, burrow, burrow. Oh my goodness, he's gonna try to run out of scan radius. Every single Lurker gets locked on. The Hydras, Roaches, and Vipers were nowhere near to be seen. We do drop a couple of Blinding Clouds now. But it feels that Pig has just lost so many key units that it's going to be very hard to make something of this fight. Does have a couple of extra units showing up from the top side. Oh, what a disaster. The majority of Pig's army was pulled out of position by either a Banshee or a couple of Hellions, whatever it was. Pig in the end still gets a lot of kills on these Cyclones, but losing the 10 Lurkers like that is so freaking painful. Oh. Cyclones with Macfield are going to lock on this hatchery in the top right side. Nothing that Pig can really do to save it. We have Rootlings and Hydras coming in from 2 different angles. One of the Cyclones goes down. Pig does feel that he can make something happen with this tiny army on the left side. DeMusliM throws down a scan and he's gonna hunt it down with these Cyclones with Macfield Accelerator and a couple of Banshees that still obviously have the Hyperflight rotors of the early game. Planetary Fortress gets repaired. No Overseer means that these Banshees can just do their thing. And this is turning into a bit of a massacre. Nice lock-ons there. Lord Voldemort still has it, guys. If anybody had any doubts if DeMusliM still had it, Ben still has it. It does feel that normally with Hive-Tech Zerg there is a bit of hope, but Pig really got unlucky there, sending so many of his units to the left side, leaving all the Lurkers by themselves. Because if those Lurkers had a bit of support from the Infestors or the Vipers, this really would have been a completely different fight. Cloak Banshee's now having a field day in the main base of Piggy. The Vipers getting locked upon. 2 Cyclones do get abducted, but obviously that was painful too. We even have our first battle cruiser on the way. That's a very impressive best of 5 by Ben. Benjamin Baker. Team Liquids, DeMusliM. Still got it. Played some Bio. Played some Mech. Played some 3-Rex against the Protoss. So, it's a really good showing by Ben. I'm very sad it's a trio. I wish it wasn't. But it seems like it is going to be a trio. Nice lock-ons there on the hatchery. Obviously, Ben did play some great StarCraft against Iba not too long ago in the Big Brain Bouts. I did not expect him to be able to 3-0 Piggy here. Couple of Hellions driving straight into some of the defending Hydras here for Pig, but this is a massacre, guys. There is no other way to put it.
Massacre.
From the very beginning, where the Banshees were able to take down 4 or 5 queens, it really has been all DeMusliM dictating the pace of this game. And maybe at one point made it a bit close, but right when we thought it was ever going to be close, DeMusliM got on top of all the lurkers. I think that was kind of the game-winning move. He is running into a concave here. It's kind of a weird fight, but we have a battlecruiser showing up. We have a tank sieging up in the middle of all of it. A random Banshee decides to join in the mix as well. And I don't think that Pig is going to be able to clean up this mech army anymore. No lurkers, 2 Vipers, no Infestors. Pig knows it. GG, well played. DeMusliM sweeps the main event of the Basilisk Big Brain Bouts number 18 in the battle of these 2 legendary StarCraft 2 casters. Fun series. Sad it was a trio, but still a very fun series. I think especially that first game was very good. Well done, Ben. Honestly, well done. I did not expect it, guys. I am very impressed. He played great against Iba, but obviously that was a while ago. And B, that was a map pool that I think Ben was still a bit more familiar with than this map pool. And then on top of that, he had to play on US West, which is not something that I think he has done a whole lot in the last 5 years. So for him to show up like that and then get a 3-0 on the board over Pig is very impressive. Pig will still get 50 bucks as well. Ben gets 150 bucks. And that is going to do it, guys, for the Basilisk Big Brain Bouts number 18.